Welcome to Immigration Quicktake. This is Ellie Rutledge with the American Immigration Lawyers Association. Last week, the Center for Immigration Studies released a report claiming that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, is setting free tens of thousands of dangerous criminals. Despite the rhetoric, however, those numbers just don't seem to add up. And joining us today is Ben Johnson, Executive Director for the American Immigration Council, to clarify some details and explain where the CIS report is in error. Ben, thanks for joining me. Anyone reading the CIS report would think that in 2013, ICE freed more than 36,000 convicted undocumented immigrants from detention who were awaiting the outcome of deportation proceedings. That's a pretty serious claim. Can you help us understand what really happened?
So not surprisingly from the Center for Immigration Studies, this is another really inflammatory report that's really about trying to scare people. So I think it's important to sort through this and figure out what's really going on here. So a couple of points I think are important to make. First of all, 36,000 criminal aliens being released from custody. Many of the folks that are being released are people with very low-level offenses. 15,000 of these offenses were for traffic violations, another 10,000 for what would otherwise be misdemeanor minor violations, but non-traffic violations. So the bulk of these cases are cases that really are people who pose no threat to the community. The second factor to keep in mind here is that all of these people have either paid their fine or completed their sentence. So some of these folks have more serious convictions, but the criminal system has already completed its process. They have paid their fine, they have served their time in jail, and now they are in immigration court. They've already been released from the criminal justice system. They're in immigration court. And they're making a determination about whether they can or should be released from custody while their removal proceedings are pending. These are decisions that are made every day in immigration court. Judges are allowed to, in fact in some cases are required to review these cases so that people don't stay in custody for their entire lives. They get an opportunity to be released if they can show that they're not a danger to the community and they're not a flight risk. Where they can show those things, judges can and should release people from custody, especially since keeping immigrants in custody costs us $2 billion a year. Finding alternatives to detention is not only consistent with the Constitution and with our values, it's good economic sense as well.
Thanks, Ben. If a person is released, are they entirely free to go about their lives?
Real important to remember that being released from custody doesn't mean that you have been set free. It doesn't even mean that prosecutorial discretion has been exercised in your case. What it means is that you have been released on bond, an order of supervision, or in some cases an ankle bracelet. And the immigration agency, I suspect for many of these cases, is continuing to pursue removal proceedings against these folks. So no, being released from custody does not mean that your case is over or that you are simply free to go.
Why would someone be released from ICE custody?
They get released because they are legal permanent residents. That's another thing to keep in mind. A very large number of these folks, they're not undocumented immigrants. They are legal permanent residents. They've got significant ties to the community. They've got families. They've got homes. And they are rightfully contesting their removal from the United States. So before they lose their green card, the Immigration Service is going to have to prove that they're removable for these offenses. Courts can and do every day decide that somebody with significant ties to the community, who's not a threat to the community, can be released while they are awaiting trial. That happens all day, every day in the criminal system, including with what sounds like very scary charges, and it certainly happens in immigration court. This is the way courts are designed to run. This is the way that jails are designed to be used. You keep people in custody when they are determined based on the facts of the case, not the title of their charges, not headlines in the newspapers, but based on the facts of their case. Are they a threat to the community or are they a flight risk? If they are not, they can and should be released.
Thank you, Ben, for joining us. For the rest of you, please stay tuned for more updates from the American Immigration Lawyers Association.